Hi guys, Kaiser here, and welcome back to Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. It's been a little while since we've played just some good classic AoE3 DE, so here we are, giving the Swedes a spin. Sweden, of course, is one of those new civilizations that was introduced with the Definitive Edition before all the DLC came out and everything, but this is a new civ, not from the original roster, but introduced to DE. And I gotta say, they're a fun civilization. They got some unique military options and a pretty unique economy, which I think is actually going to be the focus of today's video, the Torp. Now you'll see that my opponent, Lord Piedron here in the red, is playing as the Dutch. And of course, if you've watched my previous video on the Dutch, my own Dutch gameplay, you know they get access to the bank. And the bank is beautiful because it is a building that contributes to your economy. Well, the Torp is kind of similar in a way. Whenever you build a Torp, it costs more wood than a typical house. But not only does the Torp give you population space, it also collects from nearby resources. And so you have the opportunity to get a really strong economy going by putting a Torp down. I like to put it near either a gold mine, silver mine, somewhere where it can collect coin. And you'll see the rings. The ring around the mine is showing you that the Torp is collecting from the mine and from, it spawns with a berry bush. So it'll also collect from these berry bushes. Or you can put it near some trees and it'll collect near the trees. And if you happen to hunt near a Torp, it will also help you collect from the hunt as well. So you can collect all of these resources and collect faster than other civilizations with careful use of your Torps. So in this early economic situation, that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the hunt near my Torps to be able to take maximum advantage of them and boom up to the next age as quickly as possible. Now, I've got to say, I just hopped on the ladder to have fun. So I don't have a particular strategy in mind. I think the closest thing that I have in mind is to get Caroleans out as quickly as possible and start using them against my opponent. I have, if you pull up the deck here, I call it the Widgie-ish deck. For those of you not in the loop, Widgie is one of the foremost current Age of Empires 3 content creators, and he does a lot of great videos on the AoE3 scene, and I'm in his Discord and happened to take a look at the deck that he had, and more or less copied it. So I wanted to give a shout out to him, and if I'm copying his deck, I want to, kind of give my hat tip where it's due. But what I can tell from this deck, started off with the 3 settlers. You have this card here, the blueberry card. It says Torps now spawn blueberry bushes instead of berry bushes, which I believe means they have a lot more food. Blueberry bushes contain more food than berry bushes. So I need to check to see if the blueberries just refresh the berry bushes when you spawn them. I'm actually going to look at that as we go through the replay, because right now the Torp is slowly chipping away at the berry bush. I need to see if there is maybe a reason to save the blueberry bush card until after the berry bush is nearly down, and then flip the switch to blueberries, or what. Either way, I have learned from my previous Age of Empires 3 games and some of the comments that you guys have left that what you really want to do is put most of your villagers, if not all of them, on food. Here I've got a few on wood, I've got a couple on gold. I'm putting some on wood in order to afford more Torps. And I got a few on gold because as soon as I hit the next stage, I want to be able to crank out Caroleans. But food is the name of the game. And I've got this Torp, I put it down near the wood and the berry bushes, which are nice. But I've got it right here in the heart of all this hunt, because I want to be able to use the Torp to help make my hunt even faster. Let's check in with my opponent. I'm teching up now. My opponent is almost teched. He's got 16 vills to my 19, but he's up a little faster. And he is going, and I was hoping for this, when I saw the matchup. This is I believe this says a Dutch versus instant, a Dutch 1v1 eco build. So he's thinking about going all in on the economy, which is very strong in the late game if it doesn't get pressured. And the name of my game is to get pressure out. Okay. So hopefully we'll have something happen here. Sven, head in. This is a moment for scouting. I just so happened to catch this military wagon doing its thing. Pretty great. That's the good news. The bad news is I am now harassed by a veteran halberdier. And he packs a punch. So the good news of all of this, as my explorer will go down. And this is just... I mean, I did not know that one halberdier would be able to do that. That's pretty good. But what that does clue me in on is, okay, he is planning some kind of military action down here. And sure enough, if I swap over, let's see.
Commando?
That wagon is going to end up looping its way down. We'll see in a little while. Now, I went with the logistician, which gave me an arsenal, an upgraded arsenal, and a barracks right out of the gate. It costs 100 more food, but I think it's worth it for that Carolean push. So right away, I'm getting out socket bayonet because the Caroleans have a very strong melee option. And giving them an even stronger melee choice for me was a priority. So I'm picking up socket bayonet and starting my Carolean push. I also, the first card that I sent is the Hussar card. And I want to do that for a couple of reasons. A, I want to scout, get some info. B, I want to be able to maybe harass some villagers. I also think Hussar make a nice complement to the Carolean. Because if I later have to deal with skirmishers or something like that, Hussar do a very good job of dealing with them. Or crossbows, that kind of thing. And here we go, I've got my info. I see that my opponent has one bank up already. I've sent pikemen next. I am going all in on a push here. I really want to get some good damage in. And pikemen, not only are they very good against cavalry, but if you take a look, they also have a lot of siege damage. They do a lot of damage to buildings. And so, if my Caroleans can win the fight, then the pikemen can help knock down buildings pretty quickly. That's my game plan. At this point, my opponent has 18 vills to my 23, but you got to factor in the banks. And the banks, if my math is correct, at 2.75 gold versus my...
Hello.
Yeah.
Like 0.66. That's basically 4.5 vills right there in banks. So if I let this stand, I'd be in a lot of trouble. You know, I think he might have an equal lead on me.
Commando?
Good news is, Hussar good damage. I'm going to get revenge, take down his explorer. Get these guys off gold. You don't need to be on gold. You just don't. And here we go. The attack begins. Now, what I don't see, and I kind of forgot about it, even though I saw it earlier, here's the that wagon, military wagon, came down, is now producing skirms near my base. I think he wanted to go on the offense, but I hit first. I see him coming out with militia. So my goal, back up. And initially what I'm thinking is, hey, if you retreat, the militia will slowly lose HP. So you could just pull back, wait for them to drain their HP down to 1, and then just run over them, right? I think that would be a good option, but I'm also cognizant of the fact that I want to keep the pressure on. I don't want to give him time to breathe.
Befehl?
Alright, so keeping the attack going and producing more at home. That is the name of the game, is to not get zeroed in on only watching the action. But staying at home, keeping my economy going, keeping the military producing.
Ers Majestät?
I've got 11 more Caroleans coming to help here.
Ers Majestät?
I see the outpost coming up. I don't care. I want these banks down. I need to destroy these banks. And this is about to get interesting here as the skirmishers are moving in. Bank number 2 down. And at this point, he's only got 13 vills to my 28. The bank's not making that difference up. So at this point, I would say I've got a really strong eco lead, and the pressure has accomplished its goal.
Commando.
Now, the skirmisher is the correct choice against the Carolean. And this is where I wish I had some Hussar, or even the other thing that's unique about the Swedes is they get access to the artillery range in the Commerce Age, and their unique artillery piece is the leather cannon, which is basically an artillery version of a skirmisher. That would be a great unit to have here. He attacks me with pikemen, but the hand attack of the Carolean is way better than the hand attack of the pikemen, especially because I did pick up the socket bayonet upgrade, which I believe just makes you flat stronger. Someone can maybe confirm that in the comments. It's possible that it only gives you an extra bonus against Cav. But I think that's everybody. So, Eco's pumping away. And the beautiful thing is, even as I won't say as, because I'm still producing vills pretty well. But, if I were running low on villagers here, or if I were not producing, the Torps are still doing their job in the background. They're like the banks. I'm still gathering wood, I'm still gathering food, I'm still gathering gold from the Torps. They're just chugging away in the background, which means my economy is even stronger than it might initially appear. And remember, of course, with the Dutch, they're running low on food here, they're running low on wood. He's got a lot of gold in the bank, but villagers cost gold. And so as I destroy this last bank, and earlier, you know, yeah, he had the marketplace up. I destroyed that. So now, he's running low on gold, because he's got to pay for vills with gold. And, you know, he can't exchange it for anything at the marketplace. Market is down. The Explorer goes down, more XP for me. I won't complain about that. Here we go, Caroleans using their charge attack to knock out those last few skirms very quickly. That might be overkill, but you know what? It's fun anyway. And at this point, I want to say the game is won, but you know what? He has destroyed one Torp. I didn't even realize. And he's getting in some significant damage over here, too, with this single halberd. Raiding my gold vills. And I appreciate the objective, you know? A lot of times, if you're being pressured, I know I see this in AoE2 a lot, and I think the same thing would be true in AoE3. If you're being pressured a lot in your own base, sometimes the right choice is to turn around and put pressure on your opponent. Mix in some chaos, and hopefully you can ride the wave better than your opponent. So at this point, let's take a look here. Back at my deck, I've sent my military cards first. I sent out both the Dominions card, well, yeah, the Engelsberg Ironworks card and the Dominions card. Dominions sends out 4 Torps for free. So I don't know if you saw earlier, I've got a lot of Torps across the map, and many of those are from the card. Even though I've lost 2 of them, to my eternal shame. But 2 Torps down. So I've got more, and then with the Ironworks card, they gather from coin 100% faster. So they are even better at gathering from gold. At this point, I am attacking the skirms here, or destroying these buildings, and kind of taking out his military infrastructure. Because I know he's hurting at home already. I figure if I can, you know, knock this out, he's probably done for. Now, I am winning this purely because of numbers. You know, he's got, at this point, how many skirms is that? It's, let's see, 3 to my 17. I am throwing up a stable to maybe get some Hussar out, or I think maybe, again, the leatherwork cannon would have been a great choice here, too. I could use the cannons to start putting pressure on the buildings and win that game. But at this point, Piedron realizes, this is over, I'm done here, and calls the GG. Which, this was a lot of fun for me, and just, I don't want to say relaxing, I mean, it's a competitive ranked 1v1, and I think Piedron had a good strategy. if I had left him alone, I think he would have hit up to the Fortress Age very quickly and been able to turn that eco strength into a really massive, attack. If he gets out these 2 skirmisher cards, then I'm in a lot of trouble if I'm going Caroleans. But fortunately, I put the gas on in the Commerce Age. He wasn't really ready for that. His eco went down before he could really make the switch. And that was that. I also wish, with 5 cards in the deck, one mistake that I'm making is not using my cards faster. I should have been throwing down these 3 cards. I don't need to have 5 shipments in reserve. That's something to keep in mind for future games. But the Swedes, man, they're so much fun. The Caroleans are a lot of fun. The charge attack is really great. I love having access to the early cannons. Even though I didn't really use them this match, just going all-in infantry with some Hussar backup. But the combination of the Caroleans and the pikemen is really great. And they're a fun civilization. I really enjoy the Torp economy. It takes some thinking to figure out where can I best place these houses in order to get the most out of them, and that's a lot of fun. So I really enjoy playing them, and give them a run next time in your own AoE3 adventures. Guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you will. I really appreciate it when you do. Thanks so much. For now, this is the Iron Kaiser signing off.